And welcome back to yet another episode of Let's Go Hunt, coming to you live from the streets of Moscow. It's the only hunting podcast that considers Gopniks to be subhuman. As always, we have Vince H, who's on pins and needles. Mike Gonsalves going back to the Derby. Dave Packard Seamster. And your Gopnik hating Slav, I'm Sam Alexander.
Yeah, I don't know what Dave's not here yet. He'll be
What's
here.
What's a Gopnik?
What's a
Gopnik is the very stereotypical like Slav that wears the Adidas tracksuit and the freaking flat cap and drinks beer and vodka and smokes cigarettes all day long.
Oh yeah, tall boys.
Eastern European.
Everything. It's called everything.
So just Eastern European is all you had to say was Eastern European. We got it. Tracksuit, vodka, cigarettes.
Yes, but
gold chains.
I think you had to put some kind of
specific.
slur.
Slick back black hair.
It's not a slur. It's like he'd call somebody a greaser back in the 50s. Or a punk. It's like a
Pretty sure greaser was a slur, but
subculture, whatever the hell you want to call it.
So I thought you were gonna go for subhuman.
Dehumanizing culture or subhumanizing culture or whatever you want to call it.
Look, this is a not related to this conversation, but somewhat related to this conversation. Somebody pointed out to me, which is obvious, that no one's better at being racist against Slavs than other Slavs.
If a Slav owns a slave, are those slaves Slavs?
I mean, if you go back far enough, sure. By the way,
right.
Albanians are subhuman trash and Ottoman lapdogs. Anyway.
Gosh, sorry.
Is Albania even a real place?
Oh wait, that's Armenian. He's Armenian. I forgot.
He's Armenian, not Albanian. I wouldn't
know
Rodin.
Legitimately, there's that cartoon strip with the Office, the Bart Simpson kind of hair, Dilbert. Dilbert made fun of some sort of Eastern European country all the time, and I always think that Albania is the name of that country that he made fun of. Like, that was what he invented, and I'm not even sure Albania is a real place because of it.
It is. It's over there somewhere.
No,
Are you sure?
That's a closet.
I'm glad you're out of it.
It's right behind me, isn't it? Oh God, it's Albania.
I should have known it was you from the smell of vodka and cigarettes and the zip-zopping of your tracksuit.
All right. Well, it's good to have a voice again this week.
Yeah, it's nice to hear from you. And
the previous week is when all my crap was falling apart computer-wise. It's good to be normal again. I'm waiting for the power to flash or my computer to explode. Right. Or the microphone to fall over.
I'm waiting for you to stop saying words.
I like in the chat how Dr. Scary Guy is talking about how greaser is now like such a bad slur. And it's like, dude, were you not alive in the 1950s? You're old enough to have been. But nope, it's got to be racial with that guy every single time. Anywho.
Yeah, Dr. Scary Guy, laws like that are part of why Miranda exists.
I'm not going there. All right. So around the campfire tonight, and this actually plays back to what happened 2 episodes ago. Kind of, because what was it? It was 2 episodes ago. We were talking about the flubber effect, right?
Oh yes, the
ballistics and flubber effect.
Yeah.
All right. So, but no, last week is the first time I mentioned the beaver thing because I was stalling for time for Fish Squeezer to get on. So it's all like this continuing arc, like in a mini series of a TV show. This week on Yellowstone, another dramatic thing happens.
This week on episode 124 of Let's Go Hunt podcast, Sam goes on and on and on.
That's what I'm here for. I exist to talk.
Go take a Percocet.
You're the reason our listener continues to listen. Thanks, Jeff.
Because he's waiting for you to do something illegal.
Basically.
Like, one of these days, I'm going to get this guy.
every night he's just sitting outside Mike's door like Albania, waiting for him to perjure himself. Like there's a full SWAT team out there just waiting.
SWAT gonna happen tonight, guys.
CPW is about to have their
on.
funding cut, so they're gonna Waco Mike's house.
Dude,
Sorry,
what if
Mike.
they made a CPW SWAT team to enforce SB03?
Dude, what if they made a CPW SWAT team to come check your freaking elk tag?
Oh,
They just fly in on a helicopter and fast rope down and surround your ass.
and fast track to Montana.
Where's the evidence of sex? Where's the evidence of sex? You're just like, ah!
Like
You pull your
just give
pants
me a
down. I'll
minute.
do it. Just give me a second, man. I can't perform under pressure.
I'm confused. Anyway, this week around
Sir,
the
according
campfire-
to this report from the officer, you then did what? Well, Your Honor, you see,
Hey, Dr. Scary Guy asks what's SB03. I meant 003. And Dr. Scary Guy, you listen to the other show on Firearms Radio Network that talks about this stuff all the time. So, yeah, we live in Colorado.
it's not our fault you don't speak English. You don't know what we're saying.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah.
this week
Speaking
around
of
the campfire,
subtle racism.
dual purpose racism. What are and what do? Oh, sorry, that's his cartridges. Dual purpose cartridges. Oh man,
It's
my
like a
dyslexia.
double-barreled shotgun. One chamber has hard R and one chamber has A. It's the double chamber of racism.
Oh, we need Dave to ground us. Anyway, dual purpose cartridges. What are and what do?
Okay.
I do believe this conversation came about. I briefly mentioned it last week, which at the time I sounded like a bullfrog that had just gotten off of a rather steamy set. But
Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Sorry.
so I went out, tried to harvest the yeah. God, I hate you. I hate it when people say
I was just thinking of
do we just
this-
need to have a karaoke episode?
I was just cranking my frog.
It's terrible. I'm gonna start drinking. All right.
Sorry.
So this would have been not this previous Saturday. So the Saturday before I lost my voice, I took a buddy up to go hunt beaver. He didn't have a tag. He just wanted to tag along. So it's funny because he's asked me what he should bring. I said, well, do you have a tag? No, then don't bring a rifle. But aren't we hunting shit? It's like, dude, you don't have a tag. Do not bring a rifle.
Yeah, if you
I
have a
don't wanna deal with
rifle
that
and you
shit.
say you're not hunting, they're gonna think you're full of shit. You have a rifle, you're clearly hunting.
Exactly. So we went up there and posted up on the first pond that I wanted to hunt at. I'm just gonna run through it real quick. And we're sitting there waiting. And then I look behind me and there's two people coming down the slope with the camera. I was like, son of a bitch, we're leaving. So I'm freaking hustle downstream a little bit more and sit the second pond. That's where we had one come up. And they went back down and waited on him, but he came back up with a freaking big old piece of willow between me and it, so I didn't get a shot off. So we waited there 15 minutes and then moved on. And then that's when I did take the shot offhand, about 25 yards to my left, and hit him, but didn't incapacitate him. And then took, I want to say, 5 follow-up shots with the beaver in the water, and still didn't incapacitate him. And that is where I am wondering if my use of 5.56 VMAX rounds is actually not the best choice for this matter.
Are you using the 55 grain?
Yes.
55 grain. Okay.
And this harkens back to, was it last year? Not 2024. It would have been the fall of 2023 when I had something similar. All right. So I think the first shot, based on the angle and what I saw in the water rolling around, went in underneath, it would have been his left eye socket. Because of the angle, missed the brain pan. It did cause the eyeball to go blip and then went out the other side, or just exploded inside, but didn't get anything up inside the brain. Because when it was rolling around in the water, there was clearly blood because the water splashing around was red. And I saw the little bulge eyeball. But clearly wasn't like a clean, just knock out the brain headshot. And it wasn't a spine hit either. And then the follow-up shots, I mean, they were taken at, hell, it must have been point blank range. And it still must not, I mean, I counted for height over bore, but I can only assume that with how first of all, beaver's not this was a big one, probably about a 50 pounder. Plus the round hitting just that little. So the round hitting, I tried to wait till I got something out of the water to shoot, but that wasn't the case. So I was shooting probably without an inch, maybe an inch and a half of water between the beaver and me. And then how dense and rubbery a beaver is, that the VMAX rounds are fragmenting and expanding before they can penetrate deep enough to actually get anything vital.
I think they're just exploding in the water because they're designed to explode little things like prairie dogs and stuff like that. Like they're designed to expand upon impact with anything squishy, and water is squishy, so they're poofing out before they even get to the animal.
Water's not squishy. Water's fucking concrete.
Yeah, at that velocity, water is acting more like concrete than it is any kind of liquid. I think that's probably pretty spot on, especially if you're talking about VMAX. I mean, even we were talking about beaver, they're actually kind of compact little meaty fatty little things that have really rubbery
pelts.
Thick and rubbery
hide,
pelt. Yeah.
Really dense. I mean, they've got a pretty thick actual skin on them, and then they've got a big thick layer of gristle, and they're fairly muscly.
I mean, if we're talking about going out and shooting coyotes, coyotes can range up to 50, 60 pounds, but a VMAX is going to be perfectly fine for those because, one, you don't have water in the way, and two, they're pretty thin through the body. I mean, they're lightly built animals. You go skin one out, and it's like, man, I'm going to accidentally cut this hide while I'm trying to skin it. They're not heavily built, dense animals. So a VMAX is, even a 50 grain VMAX is going to be perfectly fine for something like a coyote or even small deer where legal.
That's your specialty. You'd know all about it.
Well, actually, I've never used one on a deer. I only have 50 grain VMAXs, and specifically, I don't use them on deer. But
what do you use on deer?
I use many things. Usually, I've been using a lot of the 75 grain hollow point boat tails.
Who makes them?
That's a Hornady.
Okay.
Because Hornady's inexpensive. I've also heard good things from the tipped Match King from Sierra. Anyway, right. So we were talking about kind of what would be best for beaver in that particular situation. And we kind of settled on what Sam has sitting there that's maybe best for beaver is the thing sitting above his head, which is that M1A. No, what is that?
M1A tanker.
M1A tanker.
Regardless of the rifle type, we were talking about the possibility of bumping up to 308 because of, actually, you said it best. I can't remember exactly what you said. There's no substitute for something.
No, that comes from the car world. There's no replacement for displacement.
Wow.
Well, that when you're talking about getting power, you can do all the things you want to an engine, but the bigger the engine, the more you can get out of it. So we were kind of talking about that, and that got me thinking about the old dual purpose cartridge and the intent and the design. And I'm not saying you got to go out and run out and get anything, but there has been a long history of trying to split the difference between a varmint cartridge and a big game cartridge and doing two jobs with one rifle.
AR Drew 47, whatever, in the chat. Sam's big problem, you still have to penetrate the beaver. That's where you went wrong.
I'll ban you again, sir. It's fun for me to ban people. I'll do it.
I know, he gets off on it. It's a power trip. Like, I have the power.
Like, yeah, come on, Beaver Daddy, ban me.
Whoa.
It's not the right.
Well, hang on. I'll back up a moment.
Okay, back
The
to
whole reason I went with 55 grain VMAX was that very first one I killed was like the perfect use case, and it's what I imagined I would be going for, which is just a absolute clean headshot. The VMAX, which it's funny how you kind of lose, or at least I do, sometimes lose track of the intention and the rest of the details, because that VMAX round would hit and then go pew, and just wreck the brain, or if it got a spinal shot, wreck the spine without doing like a pass through. However, the reality turns out they don't come up out of the water all that often. That first shot I got was pretty, the first one I killed was kind of like an ideal shot. It was head on and it was up out of the water enough that if my shot was a little bit high, it would have gotten the spine. If it was a little bit low, it would have gone through and still gotten straight to the vitals. Most of them that I've seen now and taken shots on, though, they're not up out of the water yet, especially in the fall time because it's so damn dark. You don't have time to wait for them to get up out of the water. And a lot of the times when they are in the water, before they get out and up, they start seeing you and then they get cautious and stay in the pond and don't come climbing out of the water. So the water now becomes far more of a factor than I thought it was going to be. And then that really limits the VMAX rounds because if they, apparently, this is all I can assume, is if they touch any part of if they touch the water before they hit beaver, they start doing their VMAX thing and then you don't get enough penetration or a vital hit.
Yep.
Right. And we kind of got to the point where we were thinking, well, maybe just a normal 150 grain soft point from a 308 would be the thing to use because you might get a little bit better penetration through that little bit of water. And with the greater size of the projectile, you're going to get a better, you're going to get a decent size wound channel through the head if you get a good hit on the head. So it's like, it's going to do the same, not the same as like a VMAX, but you're going to have,
it's going to impart a crap ton of just oomph.
Plenty of cavitation. You're going to get plenty of, destruction of stuff whenever that hits. And I mean, you're trading basically at that point, recoil. You're accepting more recoil and muzzle flash and all of that, which is something you have to consider whenever you're talking about.
And all the muzzle flash with my M1A, because the muzzle brake on, I'll have to put a flash hider on that damn thing because it's going to be like, ooh, it's getting dark outside. There's the beaver. Bang. Now let me wait 10 seconds for the giant fireball that just blinded me and my eyes to adjust back to the darkness so I can see if I hit it.
People in Woodland Park, like, what was that?
It's World War III, son of a bitch.
Right. And when you're talking about like varmint cartridges and varmint rounds, like there is a trade-off. You want as little recoil as possible for shooting a bunch. So you just make trade-offs. And so that got me thinking about the dual purpose cartridges. And this has been something that the people have been trying to do for a long time, is invent a cartridge and a use case where you have one cartridge that you use for large varmints and for medium game. And it actually started, I think the first advertised dual purpose cartridge was the 250 3000 Savage.
I've never even heard of that before.
So it's often called the 250 Savage. It's a 25 caliber. It's the parent case for the 22 250.
Oh, Lord. It's another big case skinny bullet on top.
Well, no, it's not that big of a case. It's actually narrower than your...
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, it's the same.
I was looking at something else.
It's about this. So it's in a way, sort of, the parent case for the 308. But that's because the 300 Savage, on which the 250 Savage cartridge is based, was the parent case for the 308 when the Army started experimenting with a new battle rifle cartridge. But the 300 Savage was a cut down 30-06. So, just going back in time. Originally, the selling point was you could get an 87 grain bullet going 3,000 feet per second from a factory cartridge, which was a big freaking deal in 1920. but it could also be used on bigger game because you could load 100 grain soft points in it. And I've heard of people cleanly taking elk with a 250 3000 Savage.
I mean, yeah, it's that 100 grain soft point is, at least on paper, running at about 2,800 feet per second, a little bit over that.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
that's,
fast boy.
I mean, out to moderate ranges, that's a pretty good combination for most things deer sized. And if you have a good shot, a good broadside shot, that's perfectly adequate for everything except for the largest, like Roosevelt's elk, which run 1,000 pounds on the hoof.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot of these cartridges nowadays that people think of as, intermediate long range cartridges started out as dual purpose, like the 243 Winchester, the 25-06, the little known 244 Remington.
Not heard of that one.
Not heard of the 244 Remington?
I
It
think
didn't do
that's
very
little
well.
known.
Oh, hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. We missed you. Welcome.
Did you though?
I did.
Yeah, without you here for the intro, it got really racist really fast.
And I love
It
how
got-
I'm the one that keeps that in track.
It got real racy.
I just said that we needed you to ground us. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
We learned what a Gopnik was.
Yep. I thought it was like a beatnik, but instead of beatnik, you got Nick.
Anyway.
Anyway.
God, we need a T-shirt that just says "anyway" on it.
We do. Let's go hunt podcast. Anyway. That would make a great bumper sticker.
No,
too.
it needs an ellipsis. It needs the dot beforehand. So dot.
Anyway.
And that's where it usually happens after a silence. Like, well, anyway.
That could be perfect, like on the back of a cap. Like, let's go hunt here. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if a run of patches would only be like $100 a piece. We should do it.
Well, anyway.
Anyway.
No, so I'm considering for this coming up. So I thought about trying to go out and get one more and try it again with the. So okay. So we couldn't get the beaver that night. Did I mention the fact that I stripped down to my skivvies and went wading around in the water after it?
I do believe you did, unfortunately, mention that fact
Well, somebody had to do it.
to all of us.
He won't share the pictures.
No.
Oh, you're not going to see those.
That's what makes us really mad.
I'm glad
I
it
am with
wasn't.
an innie.
He won't show us the pictures because he's lying. He stripped all the way down. Just because he could.
Anyway, no, I did get down to. Well, first it was just like I'll leave my shirt on, and that's like, well, I got to go deeper. Well, son of a bitch! All right, here we go. And yeah, just boots and boxer briefs, just wading back and forth trying to find it. No luck. I think it made it back inside. Again, this was a mistake on my part for sure. Even so, the shot placement a 1/4 inch higher probably would have ended it. But where it really makes me mad because I didn't check on the other side of that beaver as well as I should have and seen the abandoned bank den there and went, oh, we're going to let this one keep on going upstream a bit and then shoot him. Because at least at that point, he would have not had somewhere to go immediately. Anywho, I came back up on did I come up the following day or was it the day after? I can't remember exactly when. I zeroed my M1A for some SIG 150 grain soft points at the range and thought about going up there and chasing after one more, but I was starting to feel sick as all hell, so I didn't do it. And season ended 6 days ago. So
we'll have, before you know it, September will be here. September 1st, I'll be right out there outside of Burlington shooting doves again. You should join, of course. And then we'll get through September. We'll chase elk at the end of September. We'll go chase elk a little bit later, and next thing you know, it'll be October, and we can go back up there and get them.
Yeah. Well, the other reason I didn't really push it too, the iron sights on that are pretty much dead on, and it has a tritium front post, but with how late they are out sometimes, I didn't want to be. I mean, okay, theoretically, yeah, I can probably look through it and get a decent enough sight picture, but I want a really good sight picture. So at that point, I think I'm going to put an optic on it. Maybe an LPVO, maybe just a red dot. It'll depend. Actually, I kind of want to hunt bear with that too. So maybe
Why
I'll
don't you put that Guardian on it? The Guardian you got to replace the Shot Guardian.
Well, that or maybe my Athlon 212.
The torture tested Guardian.
I'm not putting that one on there. I briefly flirted with putting that on my PTR to go hunt bear, and I was like, "This is a really stupid idea." That's before I shot it. This is a really stupid idea. Anyway, I'll put something on there optic wise that's illuminated, just so I can make, especially in the fall, because you've got that really brief window of time. Yeah, we'll try it out. The 150 grain soft points. I'm hoping that if it is a shot where it is like a 1/4 inch low of where it should be to knock out the brain, that just the extra oomph behind the 308 will be more incapacitating than the 5.56 will be. And also, if I got to take a follow-up shot with something in the water, that's hopefully the 308 will do a truck a little bit more into the beaver than the VMAXs were. So
I don't remember who it was that did it. It might have been Mythbusters, but they did a whole thing on bullets and how far they will travel through water. And these were all FMJs, as I recall, but the whole thing stemmed from like Saving Private Ryan and the dudes getting shot underwater as they're struggling with their gear, trying to get out of it. And they figured out that as I recall, the round that went the furthest was actually 22 long rifle because it had the least amount of friction, slowing it down. So that being said, like we said earlier, the VMAX bait, it pretends that the water is concrete and it's just basically disintegrating upon impact. Anything with a good cord with a good jacket on it should survive in the water long enough to hit the beaver. That's not a VMAX.
I did consider doing it with a load of one soft point followed by a couple of full metal jackets in the magazine afterward.
What I was getting at is I shot my beaver in the head with a apparently magnetic Eastern European round. I mean,
hang on.
Not that it necessarily would have done any better upon impact with the water. I have no idea, but if they're so mad about it penetrating their ranges, then it's entirely possible it'll do a lot better in the water. And I'm just speculating, really.
We'll circle back to that, Vince.
I forgot what I was going to say. Mike kept talking.
Oh, my bad.
Well, the reason they don't like first of all, the reason it's magnetic is not because it has a steel core. It's because it's a bimetal jacket, which is the cheapest way to put a jacket on a bullet. And it's not because it'll penetrate. It's because it'll theoretically crater the steel a little bit.
Well, I know it's not a steel core.
It's all about their longevity. Anywho.
Oh, okay. I remember
what I'm saying. That steel part of the bimetal jacket would help it maintain its integrity going through the water.
The thing I was getting at with the dual purpose cartridge is that in days past, you would get to the dual purpose thing by having different factory loads for one cartridge that, with a varmint bullet, generally just a soft point that it weighed less, that was going faster, and then a big game bullet. But nowadays you can kind of do the dual purpose varmint and big game cartridge with pretty much anything. If you just the selection of ammunition you have nowadays, like there's plenty of bullets we were just talking about in 308 just amongst ourselves, which would theoretically like split the difference between a straight up varmint bullet like a 110 grain VMAX or a big game bullet like a whatever Sam has loaded, like soft points.
Yeah.
So projectile selection,
I do have.
Or you could just go.
It would be fun to try that and turn it into a rodent rifle. That'd be interesting.
I still think the 6.5 Creedmoor.
Good rodent round.
Well, you can. I mean, a little bit lighter bullets, but you can load some lighter bullets in there if you want a little bit more cavitation at close range, and then, or you could just load up, 140 grains and let it fly.
It's a little fuddy, I know, but I'm like 140 grain, and I'm over here like have to 180 grain everything when 150 grain is more than sufficient for elk.
I think I've mentioned before the load that made the 30-06 famous as an elk gun was a 150 grain soft point, started at about 2,750 feet per second at the muzzle.
Yeah, I do believe you did mention that. Which I think when we were talking about it at the time, it gave me pause and made me start rethinking maybe I should try shooting some 150s out of my 30-06s and see if they are a little more accurate.
Well, nowadays that's standard 308 territory. Like most 308s with a 20-inch barrel or longer are getting 2,800 feet per second from factory ammo.
You're gonna wreck this whole man's his whole personality.
No, I'm
He's
just
gonna
looking for
start
accuracy. I'm
He's
not
gonna
worried
start
about the.
screwing around with 308 and then screwing around with 30-06 and then just be like, my whole life has been a lie. As he slowly just
Next thing
gets
you know,
hurt
I'll
with
have created
308.
a new cartridge. It's 308.6.
No, 7mm08.
6.
So anyway, no, I'll be outfitting that. I'll be curious to see what happens come October with it. I mean, the ultimate penetration for the water would be the crossbow, which did cause me to wonder if I should be like carrying the crossbow with a bow fishing rig and a rifle along with me. And that way, if the beaver's thrashing, hit it with a bow fishing rig and reel it in. But that felt a little like carrying a lot of shit.
I'd talk about trying to like wrap my mind around how to correctly combine an AR and a crossbow into one. Like, you do the undermounted shotgun on a rifle, but trying to like undermount or overmount a crossbow so that it's all one thing. But then I remembered Benjamin makes an air bow. So you have a CO2 powered air bow and attaching a bow fishing rig to that, and then mounting that to a rifle somehow.
I think you take a big ass treble hook, like that, yay big, and you make like a sabot with like spray foam, and you insert that into a cannon.
Okay, I like this.
Everything goes back to a cannon.
I actually really like this.
It makes sense.
What if you get
it puts a
Browning
fist-sized hole
automatic
in the
rifle,
belt, but it'll be fine.
You got a Browning automatic rifle, and you attach it to a crossbow, and you make yourself a crossbow AR.
When the Browning automatic rifle's lame, you get a Colt monitor.
Crossbar.
But crossbar.
I'm being pedantic.
Yeah, cross monitor doesn't sound the same.
I'm being pedantic.
Cross Colt.
Speak though.
You could make it a Colt bow, I guess. Colt bow.
So, what other dual-purpose cartridges are there?
Like a million.
I mean, depending on what you want to.
Hang on, wait. Let's rephrase this because we could go on forever. That are in common use today.
Well,
I was going to say it depends on what you're dual purposing, because if you're in Africa, the dual purpose cartridge is a 375 H&H Magnum.
Yeah,
because it can take the big 5 respectably, and it's also low recoil and flat shooting enough to shoot plains game with.
I've shot prairie dogs with a 300 Win Mag.
Yeah.
Dual purpose.
Like I put a 110 grain bullet in it. It's now a varmint cartridge.
Maybe Sam should
through
shoot
the dirt.
Maybe Sam should shoot a beaver with a 300 Win Mag. It's not like he didn't.
We'll work our way up there for there's more issues. One step at a time.
Like, you've got me thinking about taking the 30-06 up there.
I could just see Sam like just racking that 300 Win. I've had enough.
No, you make a whole reel about him getting frustrated with traps, shooting and missing with an AR, and just racking the bolt on this massive rifle going, I've had enough.
We're getting the dynamite out.
Just growing on.
You guys have seen Caddyshack, haven't you?
Not for a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
That's one of those classics that I don't really mess with.
I was swinging more towards Bill Murray and the
So
Gophers.
you asked about like what dual purpose cartridges are like in use today, and I think the more common dual purpose cartridge you're going to find is people wanting a cartridge that does like you target shooting, hunting, or tactical stuff
6.5 more.
rather than varmint versus big game. Like we're talking hunting, but the big thing isn't, people are more likely to just have a dedicated rifle for whatever nonsense they're doing nowadays. Like you can go shoot varmints with a 6.5 Creedmoor, but most people aren't.
I mean, a lot of varmint ammunition is also great self-defense ammo. So
that is true.
Yeah.
I mean, VMAX in an AR.
Yeah. Much better than
Until he jumps in the bathtub. And you're like, oh,
Yeah,
shit,
right.
I can't get to him.
I'm safe now.
Just shoot through the tub. Hopefully it's cast iron and then just the shrapnel.
Those are called secondary projectiles, sir.
It's called
Yes.
stalling, sir.
Yeah, and if you shoot a cast iron tub with a VMAX, you're going to get spalling right back at you.
No.
Wear your safety glasses. It'll be fine.
I shot myself in the shins. Well, at least I had my glasses on.
It's going to punch straight through.
A VMAX?
Cast iron? Oh, yeah.
No.
It's not hard
Yeah.
enough.
Cast
not
iron
hard
fall.
enough.
I mean, I break cast iron tubs apart with a sledgehammer. They just shatter. Cast iron is very, very brittle.
I have a cast iron tub and I can test this.
I may
Do it.
We should.
Shoot it.
We
I
may
bet
be I may be interposing cast iron and stainless steel or any sort of steel, but
even stainless is
Like-
pretty soft.
still.
Well, there's one
I
way
bet a
to find
22
out.
long rifle would go through cast iron, like a cast iron tub.
I know 45 ACP will. Because I had a piece of one out in the range one time. I was shooting at it.
What, a cast iron pan?
No, it was a piece of a cast iron tub that I'd broken up and taken out of a house.
Oh. Yeah, I
I
might be
have-
thinking of steel.
I have a chunk of cast iron that is 2 foot by 2 foot by an inch and a half thick.
Oh,
And I
good grief.
shot it at 600 yards with my 300 Win Mag and it cracked it. It didn't shatter it, but it just. I'm like, oh, well, that's fucking
Where
disappointing.
the hell did you get that thick of a piece of cast iron?
It used to be a workbench. Like it was this guy's little welding table. He just had this cast iron and built a frame around it.
Huh.
Yeah. It was like an anvil plate type thing. It's fucking huge. It's heavy. I bet that some bitch weighs 350 pounds.
Oh, it freaking has to.
The last time I moved it, I had to use the winch off my pickup and winch it into my bed and then just kind of shove it out.
All right.
And she cracked
Cool.
like the Liberty Bell.
So, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Speaking of dual purpose cartridges, I'll launch into my thing since we're talking about ammo. We'll just keep rolling on the ammo thing. I ordered 2 boxes of Underwood 255 grain hard cast 45 supers today. Ooh, yeah.
But why?
What do you mean, but why?
But why?
Because it's cool.
But why?
Shoot it in the bear hole.
Go shoot your beaver with that.
Sneak up
There you
behind the
go.
bear, just stick it in the hole. Don't have to worry about penetration now, bitch. Anyway, now it's for we'll be going up to Wyoming and then Yellowstone is in Wyoming. We'll be camping for about a week total in grizzly country. Not like in the backwoods where there's grizzlies, but in grizzly known areas in Wyoming and then some time up in Yellowstone. And I've been wanting, ever since I got this USP 45, I've been very excited about the prospect of 45 Super as a bear gun. And so also it will serve dual purpose because I guess I'll be concealed carrying this in the same areas. And if I get in some confrontation with some poor French camper, it's going to be really awkward when that 255 grain bullet goes through the French camper, through his entire family, through the rental RV, and out the other side.
If that's all you're carrying for, why not just bring a 22 pistol? Like, yeah, it'll jam on you after the first shot, but you only need one.
For French people?
Yeah, because you just
Sacre
wound him. You just wound him. He goes sacre bleu,
Yeah, except
le
for he's
bear,
gonna
and he gets eaten.
he's gonna open up his freaking coat and there's gonna be like just a hard, crusty baguette in there that caught the 22 round.
But
And
I
he's
am
gonna
late
hit you with
child.
it.
What? Well, then have a nap, and then shoot the bear.
No, I went with the Underwoods over Buffalo Bore because the Underwoods they call it black chair, but it's a coated bullet, which with the polygonal rifling is going to be less likely to cause any kind of leading issues. Not that I intend to shoot a crap ton of it through there, and it is nice hard cast lead and not soft lead, but better safe than sorry. So
That's fair.
that's why I went with the Underwoods versus the Buffalo Bore. The performance wise, both their specs are pretty much the same, so why not? Ordered a recoil. Supposedly the USPs are good out of the box. I still got a 20-pound recoil spray gun order from Wolf Springs, so we'll get that fitted up, take it to the range, and see what happens.
That'll be neato.
I need to get inside the waistband holster for it, though. I'm still waiting on my outside the waistband holster.
You should really look at crossbreed. Like, I've really
Okay,
been enjoying the.
Well, the problem is nobody makes them for USPs hardly, and then when they do make them for a USP 45, a lot of them aren't for the tactical. So I don't know if they're going to clear suppressor height sights. What I saw on YouTube's on Ron Spomer, I think, on his YouTube channel, he was interviewing, I think it was like a 3-day-old video, a guy up from Alaska about bear guns. Okay, whatever. But this old dude had, and I want one, but they didn't mention where he got it. Makes me think he probably made it himself or it was a small shop. It was a holster setup. This dude didn't like chest holsters because he didn't like taking them on and putting them off with all the layers. So it was like a chest holster, but it sat down lower. And instead of having like 3 straps, it just had the 2, and it was leather, and it kind of sat right where my cross draw holster normally would. And I was thinking, damn, I want that. But it was like loose enough you just take it off and then throw it on over your jacket.
Huh.
And then he also had his pistol on a lanyard, which, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, sounds like a really fucking good idea if you're going to carry a pistol for, protection against bears, because you hear fairly often about people being bowled over by a bear and dropping all their shit. Well, if the damn pistol is freaking tied to your neck, you're just pulling the string until you get your pistol back.
We found the cause of death. Yeah, somehow this lanyard his pistol was attached to got wrapped around his neck several times, and he choked to death.
Well, theoretically, you'd loop it, over your shoulder and then down and around. But yes,
isn't it standard?
I was just picturing the grizzly like, wrapping.
I don't know if you had experience with this, but isn't it standard practice to have for military, like Army, Marines,
for MPs, I think these days, but it used to be
in combat to have the pistol like a lanyard on it tied to your belt, so that you can draw it and use it, but it is stuck to you somehow.
I don't know. No MP coming through any gate I've been to, do I recall having seen a lanyard on their pistol, whether it be an M9 or an M17, M18.
Yeah.
I look at their pistols all the time because,
shit, the guys that I used to see maybe it depends on the guys I used to see at the Air Force Academy. Yeah, they all had fucking lanyards on their M9 back in the day.
Back in the day, they did. That's one of the M9 had the lanyard loop on it.
So
for that reason,
but they probably
aren't cool. And it may have been part of the Army specifications for the new pistol that it have a lanyard loop for that reason. But it's not a common practice.
Speaking of Army,
at least not Air Force.
I know a guy who's deployed down to the border right now, who sent a picture of his M17, who was not issued a holster for it, so it's sitting inside a magazine pouch. And they have been told their orders are they do not carry it with the chambered round.
Jesus.
Just like, oh no.
It's gotten external safety though. The article that popped up in the Discord though, I read that and it made the claim that they were designed without an external safety, and it made the claim that they're the only pistol designed that way, and I'm not. I think I'm just unclear on what their definition of an external safety is, because I can think of several pistols that don't have any external safeties. I
Well,
can
didn't
think
see
of
that.
like almost no pistols are made with external safeties anymore. They're all internal, or it's in the
It's in that. Yeah,
I
we
don't
don't need to
remember
go
which
into where
chat.
it's at.
No, I don't
Nobody has
remember which
access.
chat it's in though.
Nobody
yeah,
has
you'll find
access
it.
to that crap anymore. Anyway, um, the Marine Corps has so they had an M18 that they just finished a review on back in 2023 that had a discharge inside the holster incident, and I guess the recommendation from whoever did the I can't remember what freaking somebody in the Marine Corps did the investigation, and their recommendation was was that unless like the an imminent danger type of person, they don't carry him with around in the chamber either. I'm just like, so this is bad.
But at the same time, that's standard practice to carry in condition too.
I don't know if it is or not.
Even it is
Okay.
for military on base, especially gate guards, they're in condition too.
So what you're saying is, I have a 1 second. Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
They do that for that, because for the safety, and
Anyway,
even when I carried the M4, M16 in Afghanistan, it was in condition too. I never had a round chambered, and thankfully, I never needed a round chambered.
I carried an M17 for a long time, so I'm not right. Whatever. I just thought
I'm going to
it was funny.
continue carrying my M17 because it has a safety.
I just thought it was funny that that he didn't give a freaking holster for it, so he just was like, "Well, magazine pouch it is."
Or maybe it'd be fun to start carrying my Glock, because I've had it for so long and it's a Glock, so it wouldn't mind getting beat up and like.
Isn't it a 40?
It is, but that's literally
Nah,
a barrel and
sure.
magazine switch
So you
away.
get 9mm, barrel conversion. Off you go.
Yep. I can turn my 22 into a 17, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah, so I'm excited for the 45 Super to try shooting that.
That's pretty
I
cool.
thought about like, well, do I get a box of maybe the plus P, the 45 ACP plus P, and then shoot those, and then work? Like, nope, get the big boys, all the big boys.
Make sure you get lots of colored.
Oh God,
like colored 2-liters. What just died?
I just dropped my gun. I dropped the USB on the desk because I was.
Pop.
No, we knew we knew it was the USP. If it was the M18 or M17, it would have gone.
It wasn't even loaded. Well,
there wasn't even a magazine or a round in the chamber. Well, it's just the way it is.
To go back to the article I was referencing in the Discord, it was it made the claim that somebody had actually been shot with their holstered M17, or not M17, it was a 320, but they were shot through their leg and bled out on their home, like living room floor or whatever. And I was like, interesting.
Oof.
Dusky actually posted it, so look for that.
Montana Dirt Road says Buffalo Boar plus P and 45 ACP are spicy. They look spicy. I will say that was one thing that pushed me away from Buffalo Boar just a little bit. Is you go to their website, and it just looks like Bubba's Pissin' Hot Loads in website form.
Montana Dirt Roads asked if it was a Sign 365. No, it's a SIG 320.
Dave, is your computer smoking?
No, that's me.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw it was like coming up from the bottom here, and it's like he's not reacting.
We're about to watch Dave burn to death.
You do the vape,
live
and then
TV.
the vape go.
Ah, I see. Yes,
I have special effects.
They're
different than Mike's special effects.
You're a wizard, Dave.
You're a wizard, Harry. I don't know what that means, but okay, moving on.
Somebody else go. That's all I have.
So after last week's rousing bout with the fish squeezer, it got me looking, and I'm hoping that on Friday night I can go up to the old Beaver area and start. I'm going to bring the child, and I'll just give her the goose call and be like, here, go to town, be as loud as you want, and listen. Like, make a honk and listen, and we'll see if we can hear any turkeys up there. And if we hear something, I might just have enough time to scoot up there early on Saturday morning and spend a couple hours walking around making yelps with the turkey call.
I'm gonna go hide up there in the middle of the night and make turkey sounds.
Do you want to get
Sam's
shot? Because that's how you get shot.
Yeah. So I started blasted.
So do you need to talk to a therapist about your suicidal ideations?
No, we already talked. It's okay.
It's okay to have
No, he
suicide. You're
knows.
right, it is. But maybe you should not go into the mountains when I'm anywhere near them.
Are you saying you're gonna shoot at random sounds in the dark?
It's entirely possible.
Can you say that louder from the recording, please?
Say it louder for the feds in the back.
From the top.
But that's all I got really going on, other than working and being alive. Nothing interesting.
Very nice.
Oh, I take that back.
Oh, no.
I was digging through the. So I've been waiting on one of the paychecks coming up soon to buy the rock that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. In the meantime, I put this old Bushnell's red dot. I got this Bushnell's red dot with my first AR, which was a SIG M400. I bought that M400 right before my wife and I got married in Idaho, and that was 2014. So yeah, 11 years ago, I bought this stupid red dot. Bought the dot with the rifle, so I'd have something to put on it. So now that red dot lives on the Savage Rascal, and so I took it to the range with my daughter. I sighted it in real quick. I only fired a few rounds. I fired one, and I was like, "Oh, it's way down here," and like, so I unscrewed the things, and I was like, cranking on shit, and cranked again, and then went up and fired, and I was like, there's no fucking way it's dead on after all of that. It's like, fired again. Yeah, I got it dead on second try. Just messing with knobs. It was weird. Anyway.
That's still not as weird as me zeroing the red dot on my Raider, my P320 Raider, the little pistol chassis.
Yeah.
And then moving it over to my 12 gauge hunting shotgun, and then throwing that laser bore sighter in there and realizing that the zero was exactly the same.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
I didn't even have to touch it. It was dead on. It's like, this is all right then, never mind.
Don't touch what's not broken. So yeah, we took it there. She only wanted to fire 3 shots. Vince, I have a question for the rifle for you about the rifle in a minute. But so she only wanted to fire 3 shots, but she loves having the dot on it. We put it out at 7 yards. Up until this point, the furthest she really wanted to shoot was 5, but we put it at 7, and we had little IPSC half-size targets. So IPSC targets, they're the full-size cardboard man targets, but they're if you shoot USPSA, they're basically the same as USPSA targets full size. And IPSC half size is basically just a sheet of paper that's the half size of that. So your A zone is much, much smaller. It's about 3 inches by 9 inches. I don't think that's exact dimensions, but anyway, put it at 7 yards and she drilled that twice. Put it at 10 yards and she drilled it once and said, "I'm done." I'm like, all right, that's pretty damn decent drilling the A zone at that distance. Your age, cool. You can be done. Vince, my question
She's
is,
like, "Daddy, I killed the man. I'm gonna go home
exactly. Now. Like I did what you want me to do. Let's go. It won't extract. I put snap caps in it to see if it's like the actual extractor. I've cleaned it. I've like run shit in there trying to clean it out, seeing if maybe the lip is dirty. But no, like live shells, it will not wrap around them and get a grip on them.
You said it's a Savage Rascal?
Yeah.
Did you try different? Is it one type of ammo or 2 types?
I bought a new type of ammo. I know it's this one type that we carry around in the range bag that's just going bad and is like all crusty and stuff. But I bought a new box at Shields, and it was still doing the same thing. We need to take the new box to the range and actually shoot it and see if it does it. But
because that was my only thing I thought of immediately is maybe it's just the rim size of one on that ammo is just a freaking micrometer smaller, and the Rascal is just like, I don't like this one.
Yeah.
What kind of new ammo did you get?
I believe it's the Winchester 555 box.
No.
It's not good.
Is the rifle clean?
Yeah, I cleaned the crap out of it just like a week ago for this reason, trying to fix this.
So I don't know exactly about this Savage Rascal or what kind of extractor it has. I would just look into the spring tension on it and make sure it's got you can visibly see that the extractor itself is not damaged. And then I would check and see if there's anything that got compacted underneath it, or if it was, say, like a Seiko type extractor or something like that is using an actual spring for tension that is actually present and in good working order. Other than that, I would have to see it. It's kind of hard to.
It's built into the bolt face, it's built into the bolt face. So the extractor goes down the side of the bolt, and it will lip over the rim of the cartridge as the bolt gets racked. So there's a spring inside the side of the bolt that pushes down on it. So you've got your little hook, and when it slides over the lip, you've got your bolt face. It's sitting down in there like this. The spring is over here pushing down on it.
Mhm.
If that spring is weak or broken, and that would explain it.
If that's weak or broken, or if the extractor's been radiused, like it's been, rather than being like nice and flat across like this, it's like bent up or kind of curved, like it's slipping off.
It is very difficult to like get the bolt closed as well, and I wonder if that has something to do with it on live rounds. It works just fine for dummy rounds again.
Does it extract fired rounds?
No, that's the problem we're having.
You said it.
Yeah.
The way I heard it earlier, it wasn't extracting live rounds. I wouldn't call a fired round a live round, but
I don't think it was extracting live rounds either.
So zero extraction.
It will extract dummy rounds for some dumb reason. I don't get it.
They're probably
maybe they're thinner.
Undersized.
Mm-hmm.
Is the chamber nice and clean?
I ran my brush through it. I'm gonna run. That honestly sounds like, the way that it's closing bad, that sounds like a dirty chamber. But yeah, I'll try it again and report back
because
on
the snap cap is designed to go in and out nice and pretty.
Yeah.
Fired round has expanded to fill the chamber, requires a little bit more positive extractant. Then again, it's a 22. Like, it should not require that much.
Yeah. I have to, like, 9 times out of 10, I have to pick it out with my knife. Which makes it, I'm asking because I think that's a big part of why it's not much fun for the child, because every time she fires, I have to dig it out with a knife, and then she has to go again. And like, it's difficult to close the bolt. Like, I'm almost thinking just move on to the 10-22 at this point.
Just move up to a machine gun.
That sounds like a Savage rimfire type of issue, because I've shot, I don't know, 5 or 6 different bolt action Savage rimfires, and eventually everything's got to be picked up with a knife or a fingernail or something.
Good to know.
So,
okay,
it's not unheard of, but
yeah, you could probably move on to the 10-22 at this point.
Put a dot on that, and then let her instead of 1 round, she can just pop, 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 and then turn to me with a big old grin on her face because she just dumped a mag.
Bump her up to the 30-06.
Yes.
It'd be fine. It's got a muzzle brake on it.
You
She
can
gets
shoot
shot
it when you
across
can
the
carry
it. It weighs more than she does. It needs its own car seat.
Perfect.
No, this has given me thoughts. You're right. Maybe we should move. Maybe we should find her a pink 22, or I should rattle can that one.
Yeah.
Gross.
I know, but
grody.
We just ordered her staff for karate, and it's pink. Of course. I mean, she likes pink. She's unfortunate.
I have a pink BB gun right up there.
The difference is it's yours.
That's
I also have a pink coffee cup because I have a neon green one, but oddly enough, it matches all of our shirts. So if I set it in our lost and found, I lose that motherfucker. I'll walk right by it, won't even see it. So I got a hot pink one, and I call it Patrick. Like the starfish.
Is
Like,
that a
anybody
coffee
seen
cup?
Patrick? Yes. Yes.
Sorry,
Anybody seen Patrick? No, it's right over there.
cup.
Oh yes, yes it is.
That caught me off guard. I had to think about that one for a second.
No, the correct answer is no. This is Patrick.
No, this is Patrick.
I strangely approve.
In a field of orange and high vis, pink stands out.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
you're a girl dad. You can get away with pink, like regardless.
I'm
got a
secure.
daughter.
I can get away with pink.
There's that. You're securely a girl dad.
Dave, did you get you a new blaster?
I did. Actually,
Did you also get tuberculosis?
That's Dave's
Um,
notes. New gun.
I might have.
Oh, by Montana Dirt Roads, he just touched something.
Hey, before you do that,
Mossberg 500.
maybe my rumble just froze.
But anyway, didn't get it how I planned on getting a gun, but this was my grandma's who just passed on Saturday.
Dang, dude.
And
Sorry.
my granddad, we were going through papers and shit, and he opened a safe and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is yours. She wanted you to have that." I'm like, "Oh, well, fucking thanks."
It's 870.
It's a Mossberg 500.
Oh,
12?
Yeah, 12.
Okay.
Never fired from like 91 or 92, according to the serial.
Vintage.
Wow.
nice.
That's
But Yeah, so-
that's pretty good years.
yeah, it is. It's not bad. The
I
Dave
like,
era.
I like Mossbergs.
Mossbergs have always been like
Mossberg
the
forever.
Mossbergs have always been like the Remington, but not bankrupt of shotguns to me. I mean, I love Remingtons, but like anytime you hear Remington, you're just like, you failed as a company multiple times.
I just like with the Mossberg that you don't have to thumb that little load gate out of the way. It's just open. And the what the hell do you call it? Like the slide lock is in a place that I can just grab the shotgun and pump it and not have to like reach up and then slide my hand back down. Because it's right there under my middle finger. Just
Yeah.
Also, I like the tank safeties. I like me the tank safety because it's like forward, we're shooting. Backwards, we're not shooting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean,
like cross bolt safeties.
I do like 870s a lot too. I mean, I got an automatic 870 right here, but I don't know. It's cool. I like it.
870s are just awesome.
870 was
without the little loading flap. You can't ghost load.
That's good to know.
But I mean, you could load way fucking faster, I suppose.
I mean, you could ghost load because you'll put it in there and then your shell will just vanish into the ether and you'll be like, where did my ghost shell go?
See, it's not loaded then.
It's on the ground. There it is.
That's a Bluetooth load, sir.
Oh, speaking of shotguns, and Vince, you may not remember the answer to this. I was tossing around the idea of shooting a beaver with a shotgun, and you said you saw many issues with that. Do you remember what they were?
Yeah, that's a
Fewer
bad
now.
idea.
I mean, you're going for pelts.
Well,
If you shoot him in the head, like if he'd shot him in the head with a shotgun at the range he did, he'd have a dead beaver. If he had,
sure.
Yeah.
So here's the issue I came up with. It's hard to find. You have to use steel shot. I looked it up, and it's hard to find steel shot that's above triple BB, and triple BB at 25 yards. I'm just like, man, is that going to get all the way into the freaking skull?
I don't think it is. That's the even if you're
I've
using
shot fucking geese at about 25 yards, and those fuckers still. I mean, granted, headshot, but it's surprising how you'll still dig a freaking BB out that's not that far in, and all it went through was feathers and into meat.
Even
I
if you're
could see-
using buck.
But they
I
don't make
think
steel buckshot.
No, they don't. But still, even if you were, I don't think that would be a good idea.
I could just see you chipping a tooth, and then it would be your equivalent of that alligator off of Happy Gilmore that just keeps coming back.
Chipped the tooth, it ran up
Son
on
of a
shore,
bitch, there he is.
it bit my fucking pinky toe off, and it's just like that one.
An interesting analysis of that question would, I think a shotgun would work. One, if you didn't kill it, you'd knock it the fuck out. Like, you just hit him in the head with a whole bunch of lead shot going 1,200 feet per second. Like,
Has
he's
to
going to
be
be
steel.
unconscious for a minute.
It can't be lead.
Okay, you just hit him with a whole bunch of steel shot that didn't penetrate his skull. He's going to have a headache. And he might, well, no, I'm speculating on that. But
Fucking headache with a VMAX too, but Escapo Beavero.
I honestly, I didn't see the shot. I didn't see the angle he was to you. So I think within a certain distance and a certain
I think
shot size, you'd be fine.
Maybe, but then again, then I also reached the issue of if the beaver is at 40 yards across the pond. Well, now I definitely don't want to shoot at it with a shotgun. So the rifle is far more versatile, and that's where we settled on just probably bumping up to 308.
I have an idea.
I shoot ducks at 40 yards and beyond with a shotgun. That's why the full choke exists. And
yes, but duck and beaver are not the same thing.
No, they're not. But the pattern of the shot that you're shooting at it will be the same. So you just bump your shot shell up to something a little beefier than 4 steel, like maybe 2 or B or BB, like you said, and you should be good to
triple
go.
BB's not that big though. Again,
It's not, but
we're shooting geese, at that distance, at max range, 40 yards of triple BB, and some of them are hitting the ground. Again, like they've got freaking holes in them. But again, to me, the simple answer was just to bump up to 308 and call it a day.
Oh, I think that's a great call. I mean,
Yeah.
Have fun doing it. I'm just saying
Montana-
it could work if all you have is a shotgun at home. Yeah, go buy some steel shells. You might be able to. It's hunting.
Montana Dirt Roads was on my same line of thinking.
Ooh.
With slugs.
I'll just load my own, get the shotgun loading kits, and we'll just load a big old steel ball bearing in there.
I do have an 870 that doesn't have a choke in it because I got it for a Christmas present as a defense shotgun, and I really have never shot it. So
you're about to have a Rete without a choke in it.
I've got a Rete with a choke permanently in it.
we're gonna get that choke out of there.
Honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. Like a full choke at close distance is just a little bit harder to. It's a little bit harder to shoot the bird, is all.
He shoots a duck out there. I only wanted the wings anyway.
See, that's the thing about the smaller shot is it just goes right through the birds, the smaller birds. I mean, you sometimes find a little steel 4 pellet in your duck breast, but maybe if they were like flying away from you and traveled all the way up their body, you might find it in the, right here in the clavicle. Or I have.
He wasn't there this past year, but the guy who brought bismuth that time down to crane hunt in Texas, and that following year, just finding when he had the full choke and finding these fucking massacred cranes, it's just like, goddamn bismuth. And it wasn't because it was the bismuth's fault, but that was his signature. And he had a full choke, so you could tell which bird. Like you got one of the breasts off of the bird, one of the birds he shot because it's just shot to hell. Because he shot it at freaking 20 yards with a full choke. It's like, oh, there's a piece of bismuth. That fucker.
If you got a full choke and you've got an optic with a little circle and a dot on it, you may as well just go straight for the head and not aim for the body because, like, you've got the.
You don't get that nice puff of feathers if you aim for the head.
That's a very good point, and we do like the nice puff of feathers, especially when you're shooting a dove with a full choke and you get your puff of feathers and then you never find the bird. It's just all that she wrote.
It's just feathers.
Where's the dove?
Everywhere.
Feathers. Yeah, we need to get that choke out of there, or I need to buy a new barrel.
We'll
Nope,
just
nope.
cut it
That's your coot gun now. Just go buy a new shotgun.
There you go.
You know, you're not wrong. It is.
$1,000 coot gun.
You know, if I hadn't overshot that redhead, it would have gotten me a redhead last year. And
I prefer brunettes.
redheads taste better apparently.
Yeah.
But I missed, so I can't tell you.
No.
You missed, and it's good. It worked twice, so.
Also, I'm glad I didn't bring you guys on that trip because there were loons, and you guys would have been like, "What are they?" Bam, bam, bam. They're loons, you dumbasses.
I don't know if you know this, but I check my target before I fire. It's a strange concept, I know, Mike, but
Believe it or
I don't
not,
just roll
that's-
around with
that's-
free birds every day.
Believe
just-
it or not, that's why we didn't have any dead loons that day, because neither do I. I only shoot at running antelope.
We only shoot at movement and noises.
Yeah. Loon, they weren't moving, so I didn't shoot. It's going to be fun to. Now that we have the boats this year, we can go onto the water much, much earlier before the ducks get all scared. And we can, oh, dude.
I think they're still scared. They just have fewer places to go.
Dude, I came out of the store today on one of my, I don't know what I was doing, but I walked out of the store and you know that little fence that we have by the
I'm
drive-thru?
not responsible for my actions. I don't know what I was doing.
I don't know what I was doing, but you know the little fence we have that eat the patio? There was a hen sitting on it, and as I walked by, she went quack and jumped off the thing, and I was like, "What are you doing over there?" And I looked. She and a drake were just chilling. They flew to the grass on the other side of the drive,
Did
and they
you
were just.
interrupt them making little baby ducks?
I may have.
Trying to get some of that dussy.
And I was like, you guys should get away from here. They don't like things that fly in this place.
They're gonna freaking drag you in and turn you into a biscuit.
Like, I'm tempted. Go away. Go into the back of the kit. Like, hey guys, can you do something with these?
What kind of chicken is this? This is a water chicken.
Oh, damn it, Dave. You almost made me spit up there.
This is Mike's special chicken.
Mike's water chicken.
That's so when he gets done at Chicken Store, he's gonna start his own place called it'll be Mike's Water Chicken.
Ow.
Uh,
We do that a lot. We need that sticker also.
so anyway,
We need to get a
Sigh.
soundbite of all four of
Anyway.
us doing it at once.
I don't want to hear
Do
that.
we?
Yes, we do. This is the thing that needs
Whoa.
to happen.
This is just 12 hours of 4 men sighing all at once.
well, yeah.
At the end of it that's when we get the most genuine sighs, is when we're all genuinely fucking sick of this and each other. Like,
Aw, don't say that.
"Aw."
You love me.
Hmm,
So Vince,
maybe dearly, just not queerly.
Me.
what's up?
Huh?
What's up?
So I'd been looking for some mushrooms and I never found any.
Oh,
But my
Aw.
neighbor,
like the good kind or the other kind?
What's
the
the good
morels,
Oh, never mind.
So yeah, the good kind.
the tasty kind, not the psychedelic kind. Though I'm wondering now about deep frying psychedelic mushrooms, if that would be a thing.
Why would you?
One way to find
What?
out.
You deep fry it, forget to change the oil, and go to make chicken strips. It's just all
Like-
fucked off again.
This is the best chicken strip I've ever had.
This must be one of them water chickens. Whoa.
My lawyer advised me not to talk about the water chickens.
So I never found any myself, but my neighbor who let me look around on his place, he went over to another place that he hunts on, and he found some morels over there, and he doesn't eat them, but he likes to find them and pick them, and so he
It's like the
gave
best
them to
thing
us,
ever.
and I was like, yeah. So I'd never had them before, and I had decided that the one way I was going to eat these is I'm going to deep fry them, because none's bad if you deep fry it, right? So I took them. I got about 6 of them, and I chopped them up into quarters, like lengthwise, because they're nice and hollow on the inside, and so you make little strip. I made little strips out of them, and I got my batter together and I seasoned up the batter. I put a little bit of garlic in the in my egg mixture, and then Cajun seasoning in the flour, along with some breadcrumbs, and I fried them for about 3.5-4 minutes as per instructions that I looked up online, and they were really good. I mean, I'd always heard they were good, but like even I it wasn't enough for like a meal or anything, but I shared them with the kids, and the kids were really into them. And so I'm like, okay, so this is a thing now.
So, like, next to a normal mushroom, what did it taste like?
It was so I think so you go to like the gas station, and or any place that sells your fried mushrooms, right? It's, I think, a little baby portobello's.
They sell fried mushrooms in gas stations down your way?
Yeah.
Yes.
They
Same.
probably sell fried okra in gas stations down his way. That doesn't really surprise me.
Also, same.
We have
Well,
it so rough up there.
I've been where Dave lives.
Gizzards. I identify as North Oklahoma sometimes.
Gizzards, livers, fried catfish, potato wedges, potato logs.
Man, freaking all of our gas stations have been turned into like freaking come and goes, and they've just taken all the culture.
All the come and goes got turned into Mavericks, which has fake culture.
Which has what culture?
Fake culture.
Now that'd be Buc-ee's.
Actually, yeah.
Buc-ee's is fake culture. Buc-ee's is posing as something better than it is, and it's literally just late stage post capitalism in a gas station.
I think
anyway,
what it's posing to be is
stop it. Mushrooms.
There is not much room for this conversation.
There's that.
I'm a fun guy to be around.
Like that one was a good one, I'll admit. That was a good one. You slipped that one. See, that's the thing, is you slipped that one in at the right time. You didn't wait 30 seconds after the fact to go, did you know there's not much room for this conversation?
And then I got the second one too.
Yeah.
Vince, please save us.
That's the 1-2 knockout punch. The morels are a very mild flavored mushroom with a somewhat buttery texture and flavor. I actually found that I over-seasoned the batter and had to try really hard to get any of the flavor of the morel through the batter mix. Actually, really, yes. I realize now, like, okay, so they're a very mild flavored mushroom. They taste really good. Don't over-season your batter, because like it just tasted kind of Cajun at first. I had to really concentrate to get the actual flavor of the mushroom out of it. I think next time I'm just going to do like a little bit of garlic in with the egg mixture, and I'm thinking a beer batter next time, which I don't know if, or yeah. So have y'all ever done a beer battered anything?
Yeah. Love beer battering. I wasn't doing it right with. We talked about this last week or the week before.
Oh, did we?
Didn't we?
I don't.
Yeah,
remember
because we talked about adding cornstarch to your beer batter, and that was what I was doing wrong, because my beer batter tasted like pancake flavored with beer.
I think I'm going to do a beer batter with garlic in it, and that's what I'm doing next time with the morels. I'm also going to. So I cut them into quarters. That was unnecessary. I'm just going to cut them in half next time, because they'll probably fry up just fine that way. You just want to make sure they're all the way cooked through, and I didn't overcook them, but it could have had a greater proportion of mushroom to batter going on there, but I think I'm just going to cut them in half next time and do a beer batter with a little garlic in it. And because the flavor, I could get the flavor, but I had to really concentrate, and I think I'm just going to let it speak for itself next time.
What kind of beer did you use?
I didn't beer batter these.
He breaded.
I breaded them like like a normal batter with an egg wash, and then in the flour. I think next time I'm gonna do some kind of beer batter, which it may not even be beer because so kombucha, which is a fermented tea beverage that if you do a second fermentation of it will actually generate carbonation. And you can actually use kombucha to make a beer batter.
Okay.
Have you made kombucha? Or
yes,
can you like mead?
My wife makes kombucha.
Oh,
like we have a constant supply of it.
Okay, so my question is
bourbon batter.
Vodka batter.
Ugh.
Gin batter?
Twisted
tea
batter.
It's like eating
Why do my
fried food
pancakes
after
taste like pine
brushing
needles?
your teeth.
Let's be honest. If Mike was going to beer batter anything, it'd be a White Claw.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
No.
I'd absolutely use like Asahi or Orion
yeah,
or some Japanese lager.
Shit. There we go.
I would absolutely use a Japanese lager, you ding dong. Come on, man. That's a nail sticking out.
Thanks, I hate it.
In fact, I'm gonna go to the Asian market now.
Oh, there he goes. He's gone.
Runs
They're
out.
closed. I'm gonna go to the Asian market tomorrow.
Runs out the door, gets murked by Albania.
I knew it.
Nobody ever suspects Albania.
So my question, legitimate question, is: I've heard a lot about, morel hunting and what they taste like. They're amazing mushroom morels, whatever. I
say morel because I'm not gonna go say I'm hunting for morals.
That's
I'm hunting for morale.
You're right. Well, let's go. We're going to talk about morel hunting. Where does one morel hunt? What do you look for? What part of the country do you have to be in?
I think oddly enough, we talked about this like 2 years ago, and then never went out and looked for them.
I wonder if we did.
I think we did.
All right, so let's talk about it again,
and still not go look for them.
Yeah. Maybe we can look for them while we're not looking for turkey.
I didn't look up all of that stuff. I just looked up, are they in my area? Yes. And it depends on the time of year. So it kind of, imagine like a growing season. The earlier the growing season, the earlier they're going to come up in your area. Like they are in Colorado, I'm pretty sure.
They are, yeah.
But y'all aren't going to find them until probably late May, I think, into early June. Is when
mid to late May in Colorado.
Yeah, it should be the mid to late May, somewhere in there.
They start coming up here in April usually, from what I understand. And
look at this dude flexing his growing season on us.
Yeah, y'all should see my tomatoes.
He can have his growing season because he also has night-nators, and I'm not a fan.
The show title right there.
Tomaters and night-nators.
Yeah, it says in Colorado, soil temp has to be about 50 degrees before they start popping up.
Yeah,
and where do they?
Well, and that's exactly when they tell you when you're supposed to start putting stuff in the ground is when consistently your soil temperature is 50 degrees and higher. But where you find them, so I was wrong when I first started looking around for them, and I was looking around like deadwood and stuff like that, trying to look normal, like imagine mushroomy areas, right? But apparently what's it called? The mycelium, I think, is what it's called. The root system of your fungi. is symbiotic with the root systems of hardwoods, living hardwoods, and cedars as well. So you want to look around in shaded areas that are not super, like not soaked, not super damp, but moist.
Moist.
Shaded areas, not super damp, moist, even maybe a little on the dry side, and around like the root systems, the base of oaks, elms, ashes, and cedars.
All right.
Yeah, they said that they can be found in aspen groves here too.
Ah,
Ooh.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
probably
cool.
your best bet here.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
I would love to tell you specifically where I'd found some. If I had found any, that would have been great.
In your neighbor's pocket.
I bet you I have walked past I don't know how many morels thinking it was bear shit.
There was some. So I used to live in town about 9 years ago, 10 years ago. There was some growing in the front yard. Didn't know what they were. I used to just kick them.
Hey, fuck you, little mushroom. Poof.
Now, like, that was a tasty thing that got away.
Hey. Yeah, see?
Huh.
That looks like shit.
Indeed.
But
So yeah,
did you try your thermal?
I went and looked around with the thermal. Thought I found one. Like, there's something over there. It's warm. Get over
There's
there.
just a pile of bear shit.
That would have been actually interesting because bears are uncommon in this area. But no, it turned out to be a turtle stuck in a fence.
Look at you saving the day.
Yeah.
Or did you just leave the fucking turtle?
That would have been an asshole move. I got the turtle out of the fence.
What a shit way to die.
It was like your square goat fence, and the turtle had like crawled up part of it and fallen through and was just kind of dangling there, like waiting to die. And I was like, oh, poor guy. Here you go.
Did I ever tell you about I was elk hunting up near Craig a few years ago, and I drove past something. I drove past this fence, and I was like, what is that in that fence? So I turned and went down the fence line, down the 2-track. And as I got closer, I realized it was a cow who had tried to jump over the barbed wire fence and gotten her hind haunches stuck in the wire there. And she died that way.
Oh, I thought you were going to pepper spray her.
Nope. She was, she'd been so far gone that half her skin had decomposed away from her skull. Like, she'd been there a long time. But dude, that's just, can you imagine just fucking stuck there, can't eat, can't drink, just.
I was saving an owl from a fence. Them little tiny prairie owls that are like fucking this tall.
I bet that was a hoot.
Wing got stuck in it was a hot barbed wire fence. And Wing got stuck in there. And I walk up there and he's looking at me. And then his eyes have rolled back and head would hang. And then I'd start fucking with it. And he got him out. Pretty sure he died, but he was alive when I left.
It's like, thanks for getting me out now, asshole.
Yeah. Well, I hope you find somewhere else.
Yeah, me too. It's on the list of things to do now. And now that the kids know what they look like, I can kind of turn the boy loose and he'll know like what to pick.
I've heard that you can get like different shades of sunglasses that'll help. And also with like shed hunting.
I've seen that.
Right.
I don't know.
My old boss, he didn't wear the yellow ones, but he wore the real brown tinted sunglasses. And he said that sheds would just fucking glow like a real prick. He'd go out and find them all.
Feels like that one's a tough shed. That one, someone built that one on their own. Good job.
How does it differentiate between sheds and garages?
The
Standalone.
garages are attached.
But what if you have a
Did they
detached
glow?
garage?
Then it's not. Then it's.
I
a
think it's
detached
more of a-
garage and not a shed.
A door aspect. Like if it's
Yeah.
just a man door.
Like a shed would have the two barn style doors,
Well, if
and they
it's got
might
the-
be small.
But what if
and
it's
a
at the
garage
big
has
barn?
the?
Yeah, but what if it's the slide? What if they
Or what if
slide?
they're big enough you can fit a car in there and they park the car in there? I think it has more to do as if it's intended to have a car parked in it or not. This is a really dumb tangent.
I'm okay with it. Why do you park on a driveway and drive on a parkway?
Because I'd get a fine if I tried to park on the parkway. Damn cops.
And I'd get arrested if I tried to drive on the sidewalk. Wait, that's not related at all. Moving on.
Well, alrighty then. Anyway, so support the sport and take a buddy hunting.
Well, that was fast. But it is about that time.
I think so.
Yeah, it's been an hour and a half, and we started going off on the difference of garages and sheds. It's time to leave.
Now, what's the difference between a she shed and a she shack? Is there still cars getting parked inside? I'm confused.
Something's getting parked inside.
That's so funny.
All right. Well, check out Gideon Optics. Use affiliate code MOIST for 10% off and free shipping at GideonOptics.com. Our Camerado affiliate code is Let's Go Hunt. Check out the camo patterns over there and the different apparel and things.
It's cool
And-
stuff. These shirts are really awesome. They're so light, and the sun
Matches
shirts
your
are cool,
hair.
too. It isn't it so pretty. Oh, dude, we went to a father-daughter thing at the chicken store, and they took a picture of me, and I was like, "I'm so pretty," and they put it on Slack. It was so nice.
I do like the hooded sun shirt. It's very
Yeah,
nice.
the sun shirts are awesome.
All right. So, anyway, support the sport and take a buddy hunting. If you like that buddy, tell them about our show. If you don't, tell him his mom is a Gopnik lover. Hit us up at lghpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and let's go hunt. That is not what I put. I put something there, and I don't
Oh.
remember what it was.
I thought it was from last week.
It was not. I went and did that while we were on the show, and then
Oh.
I just read what was in front
Oops.
of me.
Sorry, sir. I like Mike's water chicken.
Mike's water chicken.
Mike's water chicken. Good night.
Chicken's watery.